Today, we are taking a look into Notion and Coda, two platforms that at first glance appear almost identical. From the blank canvas style workspace, the sidebar navigation, and the use of element blocks, these tools feel remarkably similar. But while they might look similar on the surface, diving deeper unveils some key differences. So let's uncover what sets these two tools apart and help you make an educated decision on which tool is right for you and your business. Hi there, I'm Alex Knowles from automationhelpers.com, and we help companies like yours get automated with portals, apps, and integrations. In this video, we want to give you a clear understanding of the differences between Notion and Coda to help you make an educated decision on which tool best suits your business. We'll look at what each platform excels at, their limitations, and which types of businesses benefit the most from each. So stick around to find out which tool is right for your business. Notion, celebrated for its simplicity and versatility, is a favorite for personal organization and small teams looking to manage tasks and create knowledge bases in a visual and intuitive workspace. Coda, which offers a similar approach to building your workspace, brings powerful database-based workflows to the table. Think of Coda as a combination of a spreadsheet and a document creator. Now let's not waste any time and jump in, kicking things off with pricing. Both platforms offer a free plan, so let's see what you get. Notion's free plan offers unlimited blocks, making it ideal for solo users and freelancers. In Notion, all elements such as text, images, databases, and even pages are referred to as blocks. In Coda, they are building blocks, but universally, let's just use blocks. Blocks allow you to customize pages and build your own workspace, bringing all the info you need right into the one place. And then you can take it further and customize how that info itself appears. With Notion, it is so easy to create beautiful pages and ensure that your team sees the data or the info they need to see front and center. The UI of Coda is somewhat similar, but it is a bit buggier when actually trying to change the visual representation of your data on that page. Now, this approach, both Notion and Coda, which allows you to create a tailored page, a tailored workspace, is unique and different to the way work management tools usually handle this. Unlike platforms like Airtable and Monday.com that give you a more pre-built workspace for you to put your data into. These tools then offer a dashboard view, which gives you more control over how you view your data. Notion and Coda, on the other hand, encourage their users to build a unique and tailored workspace, and this might appeal to you. So while having unlimited blocks on a free plan is great for solo users, once you begin bringing in your team, a block limit does apply. And to discuss this within pricing, we need to talk about how members and users work within each platform. Now, similarities continue for both platforms here because they both offer a full access member role. In Notion, that's a member. In Coda, a doc maker, which can be broken down further into admin and workspace owner roles. An editor role is also offered, which is those invited to specific pages, but cannot create shared pages or control sharing settings. And viewer roles. In Coda, a viewer can comment on content. In Notion, a viewer and a commenter are two separate roles. But let's just refer to viewers as guests. You can share your Notion pages with 10 guests on the free plan. Once you reach this limit or you want to bring in another page editor, you'll need to upgrade. In Coda, personal docs or docs that haven't been shared have no limits on the number of blocks you can add. Once you share a doc though, it has a limit of 50, which isn't a lot, and you'll eat into this pretty quickly. Now you'll see that you also have a limit of 1,000 table rows per doc on the free plan. However, in Notion, as far as we can tell, there is no limit to this number. You can add as many table rows or database items as you want. And yes, within Coda and Notion, a page is a block. In Coda, a doc is the master or top level container of your work. And within it, you'll have pages, text, databases, and more. Notion and Coda continue similarities with their pricing models. Notion offers 3 paid pricing plans, plus business and enterprise. And Coda offers the same tiered pricing model, but there is a noteworthy difference. You'll see in Coda that editors are free. Now, the functionality of editors in Notion and Coda is the same, but one platform charges for it while the other doesn't. Yes, editors cannot create new docs in Coda, but that's really a necessary requirement of your team, right? How many people in your team are actually creating the workspaces or the general team spaces? Not many, usually just a manager. So not having to pay for the editors, that is a big save. Now, we should also note that the jump from the first pricing plan to the second, well, it's double. You'll see what I mean. Notion is charging this amount and Coda this. However, we need to remember that editors are free in Coda. When it comes to paying for the platforms, both start at just $10 per seat per month. However, remember, you can add editors to your Coda plan completely free. Notion's Plus plan is great for small to medium-sized teams with unlimited pages and blocks, file uploads, and access to all features. You can see that there's not a lot in regards to feature access or even feature limitations that changes across the different plans. You would only find yourself needing to upgrade to the business plan or discuss enterprise when your team has scaled rapidly and you need to start prioritizing security and permission settings. And of course, if you need to be HIPAA compliant. If you are heavily sharing your internal data, then perhaps you want to consider upgrading. Rather than giving access to more features or raising the feature limitations, the business plan upgrade is more focused towards complex collaboration. It's targeted to medium and large size businesses that need more robust and complex security capabilities. Coda's entry-level plan is called Pro. And with it, you get unlimited docs and limited access to Coda AI, which we didn't talk about when we were discussing Notion because they do not mention it in their pricing model as it is a separate add-on for $10. Now, both Coda and Notion give you access to AI on their free plan. However, Coda gives you more access on each higher plan. You'll also notice a limit of 100 time-based and 500 event-based automations per month per doc. Whereas in Notion, the Plus plan includes unlimited custom automations. What you can actually do with these automations differs depending on the platform, and it's something that we'll cover later in this video in automations and integrations. Other limitations are a 5 gigabyte file or doc upload, and also limitations on enhanced collaboration and organizing your workspace. But let's quickly discuss packs. In Coda, packs here are basically integrations that allow you to quickly connect with your other apps, bringing additional functionalities to your documents and syncing your data. In Notion, packs are simply called integrations or connections. You use packs or integrations to sync and update your data. However, there are always limitations to what you can actually do with native platform integrations. And usually you find yourself having to use other platforms like Zapier or Make to connect your tools. However, Coda's Pro plan offers 36 packs, basically 36 app connections, and you will need to upgrade to access other specific apps, as we can see here. Whereas Notion offers 119 connections or apps, and that's available on all plans. Now, while these might not be completely useful connections, it is definitely something to consider and have a look at. And before we wrap up pricing, we need to mention that if you need HIPAA compliancy, the enterprise plan again is your option for Coda. And talking about data compliancy leads us into discussing data handling and permissions. Managing pages and controlling sharing permissions are done differently in Notion and in Coda. Both platforms look similar, but the way they handle their hierarchies and data differ. Both offer powerful databases. In Notion, a database is just that, a database. In Coda, its terminology is a table. In Notion, a database item is its own page, and in Coda, it's referred to as a row, but I'll just use item. Databases in Notion and tables in Coda can have multiple views of that database instance that are accessed through tabs or dropdowns. Think Kanban board, grid, whatever. In Notion, database items are organized into workspaces and team spaces with sharing permissions controlled at the workspace, team space, and individual item or page level. These items have their own pages, which you can individually share. Coda, on the other hand, organizes teams within docs, and sharing permissions are controlled at the doc level. This means that if you want to share a page or item in your doc, then you need to share the entire doc. Coda's standout feature is its ability to assign view-specific sharing and permissions. Alternatively, Notion recently released a similar functionality, enabling you to share specific views of a database, having better control over what different users view. However, recently they introduced synced pages, which allow you to sync database views with other docs. If you have multiple departments, you're most likely going to have multiple docs, and through synced pages, only the synced data will be shared. Useful if you don't want others viewing the entire database. When choosing a tool to organize your company's work and manage your team's tasks, you've really got to think about how it handles your data and how it facilitates collaboration. Now, Notion and Coda, while they look similar, they handle these things differently. Notion treats databases as a collection of items, with each item functioning as a page. This approach allows for rich, nested content within each entry, perfect for users who want to combine structured data with detailed documentation. Perfect for wikis, help resources, knowledge bases, as well as content-heavy projects, and clearly CMS solutions. Coda, on the other hand, leans into its roots as a powerful hybrid between a document and a spreadsheet. In Coda, databases are called base tables, and individual entries, referred to as rows, don't behave like standalone pages. Instead, they remain tightly integrated into the table structure. Coda is better prepared to handle more heavy and complex data, but it still offers the collaboration features that have made Notion so popular over the past years. So let's take a look at how each platform handles the data and what the experience is actually like in the UI. So within Notion, you'll have a workspace. Here we've got drivers of success, then you'll have a team space. This can be broken down into departments. Now, I suggest if you are a larger team over 5, perhaps 10, then you will want to break your workspace into team spaces. If you're a smaller team, then it's simple to just have a hub with separate pages for each focus, department, etc. But let's take a look at actually creating a page. I'll jump into Acme and let's take a look at how we could actually create this. So I'm just going to create a quick page, for example. Now in the top right, we have the option to customize our page further. I want our page to be full width. So I'm going to toggle that on. Then I'm going to add some callouts in order to organize my page. So one will be a kind of navigation. Then the others will be trackers. Let's change this icon. Where are we? Let's go red. We'll do a rocket and we'll just quickly make that projects. And then, yeah, let's go with docs. We can just quickly make this a wiki. Let's say that's the wiki. Projects. And again, red. Navigation. Then here we could create our pages. For instance, we could have team. We'll just jump back out. We could also have in the navigation, where's page, mission, company mission. And then you would just include some text there on the company mission, hit the /, then you're able to see what blocks you can include, customizing and formatting your text, but then you can go beyond that. To-do lists, quotes, and of course, images, media, code, embeds. You want to jump in and have a play. But the great thing, as we've mentioned before, is that Notion allows you to create a really beautiful and cohesive document with a lot of info involved. But let's quickly finish this off and look at adding a database. Now we'll add a table view database and we'll be prompted to either create a database or use something that we've already created. Let's just go new table and we'll make it Acme Project Tracker. Then our pages are our database items, as we previously mentioned. So project tracker, let's say, update branding guidelines. Then from here, we're able to add our other properties. So for instance, perhaps we want to include a date field, and this can be a due date rather than a start date. We could include a start date, of course, though. Let's just quickly duplicate this one and make it the start. But we will note that Notion allows you to include a end date already within the date field. So if we delete this, just include date, and we'll check we got the January 11th. Let's go January 11th to the 25th. We'll then be able to see what views we can use. For instance, a timeline view or a Gantt chart. And there we can see using the date, which has a start and end, we're able to show the entirety of that task or project. But we'll keep going. I'm just going to move this into projects and we'll look at adding a board view. I'll just duplicate that, change the layout. Move that there. We'll see we've got not started, in progress, done, but we want to include some more fields. We could include the person or the assignee and then assign it to the right person. And we'll quickly take a look at the formula field. Notion formulas are like mini codes that help make your workspace smarter by helping you calculate, manipulate, and format your data. However, you can only use a formula field on a specific database item. We'll just quickly look at finishing this off. We could include docs such as how to use SEMrush. I'll just quickly jump out, include your content, and then create a wiki, or we could use a gallery view. Just create a new gallery and then create a standard operating procedure guide library, or just pull that in. We could then show some of the content and so on. But let's look at Coda. Now, Coda differs with the setup. We could have one doc and then within that have the entirety of your departments, teams, but I think it's best practice to have each individual team with their own doc. That way, each of the data is separate within each team. You can, however, sync that data with other teams. Let's look at creating a new doc. Actually, we'll go with a template. We'll start with, what team do we not have yet? We got product, team members. We'll use product team hub, although we already have that. And we'll see that it's already built a beautiful template for us. This is, of course, possible to do through Notion by just checking out the massive gallery of Notion templates. If we just quickly jump in here, you'll be able to see that you have a range of different template styles. Look, 30,000. For instance, if we wanted a simple business hub, we could make a start through here. Let's search for templates and you'll be able to make a choice there. Just quickly wanted to note. So from here, it's a pretty similar process. You're going to be using that / command or selecting the plus icon to add in your table views, your text and whatever. However, we will notice there is a sort of difference in how clean this UI is and how buggy it is. Just simply trying to move this table is already slightly of a struggle here. I'm going to have to move all of my things around and it just makes the job slightly harder. So points to Notion there for the ease of creating a beautiful and visual workspace. If we jump into our project dashboard for the marketing team, I just want to quickly take a look at the fields that we mentioned earlier. If we go with, let's see what other views we have here. Let's change this layout. Let's add a table view. Start blank. And we're just going to go with a new column or property field, and let's go with formula. We'll bring that in. You'll also notice that we have the calculation builder, and something that is so important and not offered through Notion is that we can directly bring in those packs, those integrations and automations. If we want this data to specifically be connected with data within Xero or Jira or Monday, whatever it might be, through Coda, that is entirely possible. But we'll just quickly add the formula and we'll notice that we've got a whole lot more when it comes to how we can format our data and run our operations. Both Coda and Notion offer powerful field options, but they cater to different use cases. Notion is straightforward and user-friendly. It provides essential field types like text, numbers, fields, and dates, but also pushes its functionality with relational fields and formula fields. Coda, on the other hand, it offers more of an advanced functionality. It includes complex relational data fields, dynamic buttons, and a broader range of formula functions. Coda handles its data more like that of a spreadsheet, with custom formatting options, more advanced formulas, and relational data, making it more suitable for users needing deeper customization and automation in their workflows. And speaking of, let's dive into automations and integrations. Notion offers native automation capabilities and recently introduced new webhook requests. You can set up simple workflows such as creating pages, updating item properties, connecting your Gmail and Slack account in order to notify your team, clients, whomever. Now, you can also introduce a formula step to format and manipulate your data, then use this in another step, the value from the formula that is. Currently, the only trigger event to start an automation can be when a page, item, is added or an item property is edited. You can use conditional logic to trigger these automations and create filters like when a status is in progress or a checkbox is checked. But currently, if you wanted a scheduled trigger like a specific date or time, you would have to either create a formula field, which we'll discuss soon, or use an automation tool like Zapier or Make. You can, of course, directly bring in your work from other tools and embed your Google files, Miro boards, Figma designs, and much more. This is also supported by Coda, and it should be. It's necessary for an all-in-one solution. Coda itself offers a more advanced automation editor, allowing you to create more dynamic workflows. The triggers themselves go beyond just the page additions and property edits. Coda can trigger actions based on time-based events and, excitingly, webhook requests, allowing for integrations with other tools. Coda also offers greater flexibility in conditional logic for trigger events, as you can see here. But the big difference here is in packs. Both platforms integrate with popular tools like Google Drive, Slack, and Figma. And as we previously mentioned, Notion offers more apps out of the box. However, Coda's connections through packs allow you to do so much more. Notion's connections really just enable you to embed data within your Notion or vice versa, while in Coda, if we add an action and directly search for the Jira pack, straight away we have the ability to actually update our Jira platform, update an issue, create an issue, assign, and more. You can individually purchase packs to add specific apps to your plan as well. Notion is, however, continuously improving their automations, and while it might not be as robust as Coda, they're definitely on the right track. If you're working with data, formulas are essential for extracting value and, as we just saw, automating tasks. Notion's formula capabilities are great for users needing basic calculations and conditional logic within their databases. You can quickly calculate budgets, expenses, and time remaining. However, formulas are limited to a formula property or formula field. They work well for straightforward use cases, but can only reference a database item's properties. For example, you can use a formula in Notion to calculate the total cost of a project by multiplying the hours worked by the hourly rate, or automatically display the next due date based on a project timeline. The standout feature of Coda is that you can create and use a formula almost anywhere in your doc, and you can reference data from almost any table. This opens up a world of possibilities, allowing you to weave formulas into various sections of your document, making data accessible and keeping your team informed. Now, for example, I could add a simple budget remaining alert at the top of this project tracker, referencing the budget estimate and the budget spent properties. If I were to then move this formula elsewhere, it will still correctly calculate referencing the correct data. Now, when it comes to discussing how the data appears, we need to discuss each platform's approach to their document design. In Notion, each item has its own dedicated page, and this is what is unique about Notion. When you expand that page, you see both the property fields and the page body. This setup allows you to add additional blocks and info that is directly related to the item. This structure makes Notion particularly powerful for organizing and presenting content in a cohesive way. You can layer info, whether it's text, tables, images, or embedded files, into a well-organized document. I love it, which is perfect for maintaining detailed records, project documentation, or wikis. In addition, Notion makes it easy to structure documents across multiple layers. You can link documents, create databases within pages, and organize everything into clear sections or even separate pages. Now, this is especially useful for larger projects that require in-depth documentation or step-by-step guides. Coda, on the other hand, is more of a hybrid tool that connects documents with more complex databases. Coda instead excels when it comes to integrating dynamic data into your workflow. It's very data-heavy focused. While it does allow document creation, its main focus on data management means it might not be as smooth or easy to use as Notion for creating visually appealing documents. And that's okay, because that's not what it's for. If your main goal is to create wikis, SOPs, or project documentation with rich content and clear structure, then Notion's definitely your go-to tool because its flexibility and user-friendly UI makes this the better choice. But it's definitely still possible with Coda. So, after all that information, still wondering which is the right tool for you? Well, the choice between the two tools really depends on what you're looking for, the complexity of your business processes, and how much customization you need, as well as how complex is the data you will be handling. Notion and Coda are two powerful tools, but they do cater to two different needs, of course, depending on your business. Notion is perfect for businesses or teams that need an easy-to-use, flexible platform for creating clean, appealing workspaces. If you're managing tasks, knowledge bases, or content-heavy workflows, Notion will make it easy for you to stay organized. It's ideal for small to medium-sized teams that need a tool that's both visually structured and simple to use. On the other hand, Coda is a better tool for those that need deeper customization and a tool that can better handle more complex data. It works well for teams that need to combine databases with documents in a more structured way, making it ideal for data-heavy projects or businesses that require more granular control over how the information is presented and formatted. If you need help setting up your work management tool or want to automate parts of your business, don't hesitate to reach out to us at automationhelpers.com. Our team of experts are offering a free 30-minute consultation, so book yours today.